guys, I'm here with Tui, who is one of our new board and train drop-offs. She just arrived a couple hours ago, and we kind of wanted to take you through a first day with a dog with intense reactivity. She comes to us because of her reactivity. Her owners are really struggling getting her out and about, and she's very vocal, very forward when she sees a dog behind a fence or when she's on leash. So today we're assessing how she does with some of the intake stuff, such as crate drills, collaring on and off, socialization, and walking through and by other dogs. We want to gauge where she's at and to see how intense some of her behaviors are, and then we can create a lesson plan from there. One of the drills that we do is collaring on and off to see how the dog responds to their neck being touched, as it's going to be an everyday practice for her with our kennel staff and our trainers. So we're gonna quickly just do some drills with her, see how she feels about it. So I have a slip lead on her to kind of physically control her if she were to come back at me or if she were trying to run away. So this just helps keep her in my space. And next we'll just take our star mark prong collar, and I'm gonna have kind of come to the side of her and collar her on and off a couple of times. Good girl. Good job, Tui. I haven't gotten aggressive vibes from her previously, so I am being a little bit more direct. But let's say she were being a little bit weird about things, I may touch the collar to her neck and see how she feels about it. Kind of going on her neck, behind her ears. So we just kind of want to see what her response is, if she's a little bit funky about her neck being touched or if she's okay with it. And right now she seems pretty accepting. Good. Good girl. Jiggle it around her neck. Very similar to what our kennel techs will be doing when they collar her on and off. Good job. Touch her flat collar. Good girl. Good girl, Tui. So generally on a dog's first day, we do want to do a number of things to assess where they're at in different categories that we're going to be working them through for the rest of the month. And we also kind of want to wear the dog out in their first couple of hours, so we don't just immediately pop them in their crate and have them have all this pent up energy and nervousness with being transitioned from their home to the facility. So as you can see, Miss Tui here, we've worked her a lot today, and she's ready for a little bit of a rest time. We're gonna put her in the crate, do a couple of drills to see how she gets in and out of the crate, and see if there's any issues with her going in, her coming out, and assess to see if our kennel staff can safely run her. So we're here at Tui's home for the next month, and this is going to be her crate. So we're gonna see how she gets in and out of it, assess if she's crate trained or if she needs a little bit of work with it. So with the prong collar on, I'm going just to give her a little bit of leash pressure into the crate. Good. Okay. And allow her to come in and out a couple of times. Good job. Okay. Oops. Good. Okay. She's pretty good at it. Good. Good. Okay. Good. We also want to see how she responds when the door opens. We don't want her rushing out immediately and having some kind of boundary at the door. So as she's being leashed up by the staff, she's not bolting down the stairs, bolting away from them, and we see her pause for a moment. Okay. Before getting that release out of the crate. So this is Tui, and she's here for a board and train for pretty obvious reasons. Right now I'm just testing to see how committed she is in her reactivity. So I'm giving her a little bit extra leash. We're still gonna keep a safe distance, but I just wanna test out if she's lunging, if she's moving toward the dog, and her general stance on how she feels about everything. Good girl. So at this point, I don't want to offer huge corrections because I do want to see where this goes. But one of the first things I'll do is start adding a little bit of leash pressure into our walk here. Good. So as I turn, I want to see that she's turning with me when she feels the prong pressure. And she's very focused on this other dog, but our criteria is really simple to start. Come on. Hey, Tui. Come here. Good girl. Our rule of thumb for our prong sessions is we're going to use as little as we can get away with, but as much as we need. So I'm not going to go in with yanking and cranking her, but I'm just going to see what level of pressure she's responding to. When she first sees the other dog, obviously we're going to need to use a little bit more pressure to gauge her attention back on us, or get her attention back on us. And then as the dog kind of come here. Good. And as the dog's moving around there a little bit more, she's a little bit more irritated by it. We're gonna just keep going, keep walking. Come on. And what I'm looking for is just that she doesn't have the reaction anymore. Come here. Good girl, Tui. And that she's kind of yielding to this leash pressure here. Good girl. Good job, Tui. And we'll turn. Come here, Tui. Good girl. At this point, I don't care what side she's on, if she's on the left or the right. The criteria is just kind of feeling that pressure as we're turning. And we can see her attention's a little bit shifted away from the dog. Good job. Good girl, Tui. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. Yes, good girl. So now I'm gonna start to offer a couple of corrections with any forward movement toward the other dog. And the correction is just a prong collar pop. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Good girl, Tui. Yes, good girl. Good job. Sure, yeah. Come on, Tui. So initially, I have to be pretty firm on her to set the expectation once we are starting to choose something to correct for. And then as, like I said before, we're using as little as we need, or as little as we can get away with, but as much as we need. And I should feel like I'm having to use less pressure because she's just not having the reaction anymore. Good girl, too. Good job. Good. Good. Good job. Tui. Yeah. Come on, Tui. Good. Good girl. Perfect. Nurse have been struggling for a pretty long time with her reactivity, and as described, it made it hard to walk her, do things with her because of how insane she would get. So initially, we do want to come off a little bit more firmly with her in the first sessions. So we're getting that behavior under control, and we're associating a consequence to that really aroused behavior so we can get her down a little bit and ultimately give her a life with her owners that's so much more meaningful. They can do so much more because she's so much more controllable. Next, we're just going to pick one thing, getting on and off of the bed as some other dogs are going by. Our first session of beds we did without any dog or distraction, but now we're going to push her a little bit more. No. Bed. Good. And I'm looking just to get the initial impulse of wanting to go toward the other dog and engage in that behavior under control. Good job. Okay. Good girl, too. Good girl. And our expectation right here is just not stepping off of the bed or moving toward the dog, which if she moved toward the dog, she would need to step off the bed, which gives us a really clear expectation for her right now. So she can see everything going on, but not having to be an active participant in it or engage in that really hyper aroused state of mind. Good girl. She said, what the heck is going on here? Good. Okay. Come here, too. Good job. Good job, girl. Good. So we're gonna do a little bit of socialization with her today as well. I just kind of want to cover all the bases to see, again, is that reactivity on leash? Coming from a place of aggression, how does she behave around other dogs, and start to challenge her a little bit as socialization. So we're gonna let a couple dogs out here. We have, starting with muzzle and a drag line on, and we're just gonna drop the drag line. And we just kind of want to watch what she's like, what she's doing. And it's interesting because outside she was just having kind of like an explosive reaction to this dog. And now that we're doing things a little bit differently, socialization, we can see right off the bat she's not inherently aggressive. And she's not coming from a place that she's trying to kill this dog. She's curious. Pickle.
Pickle used to be the most playful girl in the world. Sniff train. Jigsaw. Okay. So we're starting off on muzzle initially, again, to just gauge how she is with other dogs. This will allow me not to have to step in and correct right off the bat because I know it's not a safety issue, and we can allow her to socialize with the other dogs and see, you know, what she likes, what she doesn't like. We can see that she's a little bit playful, she's interested. And this puppy's getting in her face, jumping around her. And I kind of want to see, is she going to respond with play, or is she going to be like, get the heck away from me? Come here, girl.
So after the initial introduction on the muzzle, I felt comfortable removing it and just seeing how she does with a couple of dogs in a group. So you can see she's pretty playful. and we're matching her with a like energy. So upon doing some of the intake, we get to know how intense the dog's behaviors are, how committed they are to acting in a certain way. And we saw very much that reactivity was there, but she was pretty easily manageable once we gave her some expectations or we started to punish the behaviors we didn't want to see. We also saw that she's pretty social. So you saw we started off with our muzzle, and then we were able to take the muzzle off. So we're not seeing her labeled as an aggressive dog, which can be very confusing to people when she does have the caliber of reactivity that she did on drop-off. As you'll see the before footage, that behavior was very intense. So we just wanted to work with her a little bit, get that under control, and create a lesson plan of how she's going to be handled for the next month or so while she stays with us. So through working with Tui today for her first day, we saw that she is pretty reactive and that it is pretty intense, but we got somewhere with it. We made progress as far as managing that today. We will continue to kind of push the envelope on some of that We'll continue to push the envelope on some of that stuff as time goes on. We get her out and about, but we also learned that she's very dog social. She enjoyed a good play session today. Follow along with us as we move through the training program with Miss Tui here. We're gonna get her out to Edgewater, Home Depot, and just channel a lot of her reactivity to focusing on us and creating more positive experience for her owners and her.